Just making the eye a bit darker. There. And then I think I'm just going to steam on and do this and just not worry about that bit for now. I want to get some of this background done and get the mane done, because that's going to be a really nice bit. Now in the photo, I'll just quickly show you the photo. There's some random objects in the background which I have no idea what that is, but I do like the colours. I think the colours are smashing in there, so I'm just going to put some of those colours in there. There's a bit of blue, up there. There's also a bit of green, and these lovely muted green colours always seem to work really well. I'll splodge that on. A bit of that one, just a little bit lighter, and a bit of that blue up there. So I'm going really quite lightly with these. I'm not pressing too hard at all. Just going to blend these about and get some kind of out of focus effect background with the colours that are working really nicely with the complementary to the chestnut horse. And of course this is the blue that we've used in the horse, so that's always going to work well. It could be anything in the background there. And then use a blender. Just give it a bit of a clean off, and then mix these together. See what we've got, then we can adjust. So when you use pastel like this, it's just like dry paint, really. Well, that's what it is, isn't it? It's more like paint when you use it like this. So it's quite a confusing medium, and lots of people always say to me, oh, but do you draw with pastel, or do you paint with pastel? What do you do? I'm like, well, it's both, really. So at some points here I've been drawing with the pastel, and some points here I've been painting with it. So it's both. So I prefer to say pasteling, and then there's no confusion. And these soft tools, I like to keep one for darks and one for lights, and then I don't have to keep changing the ends or washing the ends, and then it's easier. And the soft tool themselves lasts a bit longer, and the soft tools, they do take a while to get used to. So when you first use them, you can tend to rip them really quickly and easily on pastel mat, and it can be very frustrating. But once you learn to only use them where you've got the pastel, then they start to last longer. So just bear that in mind when you first start using them. I had only about 4 when I first started, 4 of these sponges on the end, and I went through them so quickly that I thought, oh goodness, I'm either not going to use these or I'm going to be buying a lot. So I did buy a lot because I really liked them, and then I suddenly worked out how to use them properly, so I'm not going through them so fast now, so I've probably got enough for 2 years. Just add a little bit of this. Just building up the colour a little bit more. backgrounds always tend to look mighty odd when you do them, and you just have to hold the faith and not worry about them too much. Just get enough on, and once you've got the foreground in, you'll find that you don't really even look at the background that much, and it's absolutely fine. I'm just spreading it about a little bit more. Done it a bit thicker in places and a bit thinner in other places. Right, let's get that hair on. Just checking my colours. So, go a bit lighter. So again, like the fur, the hair, you can't draw every single strand, because if you do, it's just not going to look like hair, it's going to look like single strands, and that's not what hair looks like. So you have to concentrate on the clumps. So I'm just getting the general shapes and the darkest colours as well, and then I'll go lighter as I need to. My magnets are getting in the way of my hand. Push that into the paper, but I'm being a bit careful how I do it because I don't want to spread it about all over the place. Santa is bringing me a bigger blender for Christmas, because this one is a little bit small for these jobs. You can get them in all sorts of sizes, just like paintbrushes. All sorts of sizes and shapes, like chisel shapes, round tip, and tips that I don't even know the name of. Going to go a little bit darker in there with a pencil to create some shadow. That, and now I can put some of the highlights on. I'll just add a little bit more actually. Bring that down a little bit more. So we've got this yellow one again, exceedingly bright. careful with it. Just moving my photo reference, it's catching my hand and it's really annoying me. So I don't know if you notice how I'm doing this. I'm not moving my hand about like this. I'm just bringing my hand down the page, and it's helping me create the shapes much better than I could if I was trying to go down like this, like a pencil. So it's always good to think about the way you're holding your tool, whether you're painting or whether you're drawing or whether you're using pastel. So now I'm going to go darker. Darker than that. Let's try that one. So this will be making darker sections and doing some blending. The light is going to be catching the hair at different angles now, and that's really important when you're looking at creating a realistic hair look, because it's the way that the light is reflected on individual strands is not going to be even all the way down the strand of hair. So if you make it even all the way down the strand of hair, it ends up looking like cartoon hair. So it's more about thinking about the environment that you're painting in the photo than it is thinking about how to create a strand of hair. So all this light is changing what the subject is, or not what the subject is, but what how the material is behaving. So I've got some darker colours here to create the depth, and I've got some lighter colours to make the light on the strands of fur. So see here, it's going a bit uniform. It's going light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. So I need to do something about that to stop that happening. So now I've got this very yellow pencil, which is going to help me break up this section here and make it look more random, like hair. And it's going to be my light as well. it's not, it is a yellow, it's I don't know, no, it's only got a number on this one, but I can go lighter. So I haven't actually, apart from here, I haven't actually used white, so I can still go to cream and then white to get my highlights going on here. Hair really used to be my nemesis, and oh my goodness, I could not do hair. It used to drive me mad. I could not understand, and the more I looked at it, the more I struggled with it, and that was the problem. I was just looking too closely, and I was drawing every single individual little hair, and that's why it didn't work, because that's not what you see when you look at hair. You see clumps, and you see shapes, and you see light, and you see dark. And this is all a bit too neat at the moment. We need to make it all much more fly away, much more interesting. Bringing some strands across there, more like it would be rather than sectioned like it was. So now it's starting to look more like hair, just by adding those few little extra bits in. We can get our dark in there again. I even feel like I want to add some of that Payne's grey, the purpley colour, and the blue in there. I think that will really look good in the dark sections. There's the Payne's grey. Add a bit of that in. Our complementary colour. We've got such a huge highlight on this section here, and it's really beautiful, so really want to add that in. So we'll go lighter now across here. And then we can go white in some places, but we don't want to create long strands of white because that's not exactly what the light does. So we just put it here and there. And then it's more like how light behaves. Just got time to do the lovely eyelashes, so we need something very sharp here. I just choose my pencils wisely. I think that would be a good colour, and red browns as well. Should do that one. Might be a bit. It might be okay. So I'm just going to turn these into chisel points so that it will give me the best opportunity to get a nice sharp edge. So just bear with me a second while I do that. So the first thing I do is make it flat on top. I just chisel each side, sand each side rather, and it gives you a nice chisel shape. Some of them just break all the time, so clearly this one has been dropped, so just bear with me. I think that pencil is broken all the way through, but luckily I have a spare one. I'll try again. Right. These are not working tonight. Let's try that. Okay, so when I put eyelashes on, I never start in one place and work all the way along, because that usually ends up in trouble. So what I do is look for the most prominent ones and put those in. It doesn't matter where they are. So there's one up there, there's really long ones there, and there's some down here, some down there, and then as I do that, it gives me a guide as to where to go next, and then I can work my way round rather than working my way around thinking I'm getting there when actually I'm not, because I'm going off track because I can't concentrate on doing and looking where I'm going at the same time. So now I've got my guide in place, I can add them in. And I'm just cleaning off my pencil after I've done a load, because I don't want to contaminate the ones I've already got there. Add some of these as well. And to do eyelashes, it's a real technique to it. You really have to practice to do these. really a lot of practice. This pencil has actually broken and it's hanging on by a thread, so let's see if it works. And I'm just going to do a last one with a pink. I'll try this one, I might have to go a bit lighter. Yeah. So important to spend some time getting your pencils just right before you do it, because it's such a delicate area, and you know it could make or break the painting by putting the whiskers on or the eyelashes, and it's worth spending that time just to get it right. There. Okay. And quickly finish off this. I've got some very delicate little hairs down here. And they're all very bright and glistening in the sunshine. And we can still see all that blue that we put underneath, and that was all really important, and we can't achieve what you see on top by the top alone. You have to put underneath all those layers to get everything to work. Knock that back a bit by rubbing it into the paper. Just gonna tickle the paper here with some Payne's Grey, the Carbothello one, which is the more plummy, purpley one, and add some little marks where the hairs are coming out of, around here and here. Just give it a little blend. Push them into the paper, and then we can put those on as well. I think I'll use the cream to do that. we could use the pink as well. I'll use the pink first. And then along some of these, halfway along, I'm going to add some light.